What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Guys, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2023. I hope you guys had a fantastic 2022, and I hope you guys have an even better year moving forward. Hope for an even better year of fights because we had a fantastic 2022. I can't wait for 2023 has to offer for us. Guys, before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly, Mr. Mustache MMA News. Year 2 of my channel. I'm very excited. New year, new opportunities. I'm hoping to expand my fan base and move to the next level and only increase. So guys, let me know in the comment section how I could improve this upcoming year. All right, guys, getting right into it. Let's hit the grind. Starting up with the first fight week of 2023, we're going to be having Kelvin Gastelum take on Nassourdine Imavov in the middleweight division. Very exciting matchup, guys. Personally, I'm not thrilled at the fact that Kelvin is fighting again at middleweight. I've been a huge advocate for him to moving back down to 170 for a long time now. So it does frustrate me to all hell that he is fighting at middleweight again. But in this fight against Nassourdine Imavov, it just shows that he's game for anybody, anytime, any day. The toughest guy that he has the opportunity to fight at the moment. You know, I mean, he's literally fought the who's who at middleweight already, and he's lost, I think, 6 out of his last 7, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like he was out there getting getting finished, but Robert Whittaker hurt him several times. Jared Cannonier hurt him several times. Darren Till really just kind of stayed on the outside and just outpointed him for the full 3 rounds. Jack Hermanson really got a hold of him early while he was cold and got that heel hook in, I think, within like 90 seconds of the fight. So his only win in like the last 3 years against Ian Heinisch, where he kind of dominated a really nice 3-round decision, where he just kind of showed that he was the better athlete, the better fighter, the more well-rounded fighter out of the two. But when it comes out to him fighting those top 5 guys in the middleweight division, he's kind of come out on bottom ever since he fought Israel Adesanya, where, I mean, he took Israel all the way to the brink. He's the only guy besides Alex Pereira that really, really made Israel work and look difficult, and really gave Israel the hardest time and almost finished him, and even almost finished him with a head kick himself. You know, we have a guy like Kelvin Gastelum who technically retired Michael Bisping. I mean, yeah, Michael Bisping was coming off of I think it was only 2 weeks after he lost his belt to GSP. He was already about 40 years old at the time. So Kelvin definitely struck at the right moment, literally. And yeah, he's a world-class fighter, but when you really look at the wins and losses over the last, I'd say, 5 years, I mean, he smoked Vitor Belfort. He looked really good against Chris Weidman before Chris took it to the ground, and that was kind of it. He finished Michael Bisping. He beat Jacare Souza. And then ever since then, at the middleweight division, he's just been outpowered. And that's really been the big thing. I mean, he hasn't been able to match the power of these guys. When these guys touch him, it seems to have a different reaction of when he touches them. And this is no disrespect to Kelvin, but he's just a guy who's just fighting out of his weight class. He's 5'9". He's very wide. He looks like he has the figure of a guy who should be at 185 pounds. But when you look at the guys he's fighting, it just shows that he really needs to work at getting his frame at a lower frame, and to be able to get himself down to 170 and to be able to compete there, because I think that he could really fuck some people up down at 170, especially what you could see him do against guys in the top 5 in the middleweight division. So this is kind of why it frustrates me, why he's having another fight at middleweight. Like, why even do this? It really isn't going to catapult him, because a guy like Nassourdine Imavov, if you're not in the know, there's no risk, no reward, because to the mainstream audience, Imavov is not really that popular or really highly regarded by most of the MMA community. And that's a big mistake. You know, Nassourdine is a killer, and he's getting into his physical prime, 27 years old. I think he's on a 3-fight win streak. Coming off a win with Joaquin Buckley. He finished Edmund Shabazian, and he finished Ian Heinisch. His only loss in the UFC was to Phil Hawes. And Phil Hawes, man, he's a beast himself. So, I mean, coming off of in the first start of his career, Nassourdine is very massive for middleweight. I mean, 185 pounds, 6'3". He's got, I think, a 79-inch reach. 75-inch reach. I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking. That was a lot longer than that. but he is a 6'3". I mean, he's very big for the division, so he's going to be going against the guy who's 5'9" and Kelvin Gastelum, who's very small for the division. And this is where I love Kelvin for taking like one of the toughest matchups possible. This fight is not good on paper for him. The only reason why, if there is going to be any odds for his favor, it's only because Nassourdine doesn't have really a big name at the moment. And this will be the win. If Nassourdine gets the W, this will be the win that puts Nassourdine kind of in that mainstream eye, so to speak. So to me, I think this is his time. Right now, I think this is the perfect matchup for Nassourdine. I think if Nassourdine loses this fight, well, he lost to Kelvin Gastelum. If he wins this fight, he beat Kelvin Gastelum. And it's kind of the opposite for Kelvin, where if Kelvin beats Nassourdine, everyone's like, okay, well, he beat an up-and-coming prospect. Cool. Gatekeeper status. And if he loses, all right, well, he definitely needs to go to 170. He might even get released by the company. You never know with the UFC these days. The guy, Kelvin's kind of in this weird, funky situation where he's such a high-level athlete. He really is a top 5, top 10 guy, but just not a middleweight. He definitely could be a number 1 contender at welterweight if he just put in the work to get his body down to a healthy weight cut. I think if I wish he would have done it 2 years ago. I think after that fight with Darren Till and Jack Hermanson, it was like, all right, you might as well just move down to 170, but then he got the W against Ian Heinisch. So I was like, all right, well, maybe he's found his footing. But then the fights against Robert Whittaker and Jared Cannonier just kind of showed that he's just outpowered by these guys. And that's really just the top 5. And he's already gone against these guys. So like, what else is there really to do for him besides get a fresh coat of paint, go down to 170, and fight those guys down there? I think win or lose, I think that's the best move for him. Nassourdine, this is a big thing for him. Like I said before, if he beats Kelvin, he's gonna have that first big name win under his belt. He's got the win over Joaquin Buckley, which is nice. He's got the finish over Edmund Shabazian. Kind of stole a little bit of his hype. So the sky's the limit for a guy like Nassourdine. He's definitely big for the weight class. He's definitely long for the weight class. I can't wait to see what's in store for this matchup January 14th. So we still got about 12 days, I think, until we see that. I think it's a very phenomenal matchup. I hope Kelvin gets the win personally. I think it's a really bad matchup for him on paper. Like, gun to my head, I think Nassourdine takes the victory. But Kelvin's got a great left. He's got great combinations, great wrestling. He's got the experience. He's gone against all the top guys. He's been under the spotlight, so he has all that experience behind his belt. Let's hope that he can use that to his advantage and right the wrongs of his past and get back on the right track, because I'd really like to see that for Kelvin Gastelum. Guys, that's going to be it for the first episode back of 2023 Mr. Mustache MMA News. Guys, I hope you liked everything. Guys, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly. Let the channel grow. Let me grow. Let this shit continue. Let's fucking go fight, fans. Mr. Mustache MMA News out.